Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. I am your host, Michael Karvelis, and this is Daily Dive. It is Monday, January 19th, 2026, and this show begins now. We are live streaming via the airwaves of North American Talk Radio on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe before you leave today's show for other great shows, live sports, notifications for this awesome Daily Dive show, and other videos. On today's awesome episode, we're going to talk to Pat Gregoire for some NLL Week 8 overreactions. Then we'll talk to Captain, who will share his as well as about the game from Edmonton. And we'll also talk about a bad week of bets for both of us. And finally, 3 stars of the weekend. Before we get started, this show is presented by the merch store at the NLL. Head over to natalkradio.us/NLL and get your NLL merchandise today. It helps us out when you use that link, so we appreciate you for all you do. More than 200 people have clicked the link so far, and we have at least one sale. I believe there's more on the way from that as well, but natalkradio.us/NLL, it's official NLL merch with player shirts, a Toronto Rock logo I had not seen before. They have on the Fast Break shirts. They also have hoodies. I'm sure there's more to come. It's more of a soft launch. The NLL has not technically announced it, but it's clearly theirs, and we're very excited for it. I'm going to take a quick NA Talk radio break to drink some water, and then we'll bring on Pat Gregoire on the other side.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
All right, folks, welcome back. I'm now going to bring on Pat Gregoire. Pat, I apologize for that. How are you, sir?
It's all good, Mike. It's all good. You gotta stay hydrated. I'll take the opportunity and do the same right now.
You know, I hope you don't spit it out, but I was too busy screaming when the Josh Allen choked. I was like, oh my, because I thought the Bills could win, but leave it to him and then blame the coach for your 4 turnovers. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Oh, okay. Give me a break. This was a long time coming. The firing probably should have happened quite some time ago.
I agree with that.
I will always have a special heart and, special place in my heart for Sean McDermott, what he was able to do with this group, considering where they were before, the culture he built. He's done a lot of great defensive development, but the time is now, and it had to happen. I'll be honest, though, Brandon Beane getting off the hook is definitely a little bit surprising to me, considering the group that he built for this team. The lack of weapons on offense, it seems a little bit concerning that Brandon Beane still has his job and Sean McDermott's the one who's falling on his sword. But this isn't a football show, Mike. This is a lacrosse show. Let's get into the NL because I don't know. I don't know if I can keep my composure if we're going to stick to Bill's talk today.
The kid agrees, by the way. All right. Thank you, Kai. Stay tuned for Greggy's Grinder. How many nominees do you have today? I've got 4.
Oh, nice. I've got 3 nominees.
Right. All right, so we're gonna first get into the Rock. Well, let's do chronological order here. Sure. Let's do what was it? Okay, so Black Bears defeating the Bandits. That was the Friday game we're doing. 10-9. We can talk about the game, but we'll also ask a question right away and see what you want to do here. Are you convinced that Ottawa is a playoff team?
Listen, that is by far the most impressive victory on their slate this season.
Fair.
Jeff Teat and Rob Hellier putting the team on their back, both of them with 7 points. Teat taking over in that fourth quarter once again. It is ridiculous what we're seeing from Jeff Teat in late stages of this game. You cannot understate how clutch he has been. The play in between the pipes from Zach Higgins, by far his best game of the year. What was it? 44 stops on 53 shots, 83 save percentage. He was excellent. He came up big. With that being said, Mike, I don't think it automatically for me says, okay, they are a playoff team. I still think there are a lot of other really good teams. I still think that they have a little bit of a couple tough games coming up as well. Vancouver at home this week, and then you go to Toronto. Obviously not a very tough travel schedule for them, but I think if they are to at least split the next two, we can extend this conversation. Just for me, they've only won back-to-back games once so far this year.
Right.
This would be a huge statement. If they can beat Buffalo and then go ahead and beat Vancouver, then maybe we have that conversation that they are absolutely a playoff team. I'll tell you this, Mike, they are absolutely a team that will be at least battling for a playoff spot. They are not going to be dwelling in the basement like we've seen in previous years.
So it's interesting you talked about the most impressive win, because people are probably like, oh, the Rush game, but front to back, though, this was their most impressive, like full body of work game, because the Rush game was bad until like the fourth quarter, then Keat woke up, but this was an entire game. So
also, I would argue that Saskatchewan didn't look good at all in that game, and they'll be the first ones to tell you. It's also at home. Saskatchewan traveling from west to east.
It's a lot.
It's December 12th, the game. This is a little bit later on in the season. I think this is their most impressive victory,
Agreed,
bar none.
I like that. My answer to the question, are we convinced that Ottawa's a playoff team? I think I'm almost there, so I guess we're kind of in the same boat. If I'm not already there, Rob Hillier, Jeff Teat work. Callum Jones is a stud who's gotten even better this year. Zach Higgins is not a goalie that's going to lose you games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they probably will make the playoffs. And I'll add this: they're going to be a scary first round matchup for any team, because it's only one game. Just ask Buffalo, just ask Saskatchewan. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The consistency is just where it needs to be. And if you can string two victories together against arguably two of the best teams on paper, I think I might be saying, okay, it's done. But we've seen this before, Mike. We've seen stretches of Ottawa or New York look like, oh man, they figured this out. It's that consistency that has been the big question mark for me. And that's something that Dan McRae, the new GM and head coach, has preached since training camp, is consistency. So I'm super stoked that I'm going to be in Ottawa on Friday night to see them take on Vancouver, game of the week. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, a huge challenge for this Ottawa group. Nationally
broadcasted game if you're in Ottawa, right?
Absolutely.
Love that. TSN, bring it on. Ottawa almost blew it. That empty net was crazy because they were only up one, and I feel like teams up two can do that, but that was scary.
That got scary for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Agreed. Next game we're going to get to is going to be the Rock and the Nighthawks. Rock did win 11-10. I know when I posed this question to Pat, he was like, well, what about the ref thing? I was like, okay. Well, the question is, how much weight, this is our scale, 1 to 10, so I guess 10 pounds, do you put into this specific loss for Rochester?
I'm only going to say like a 4, maybe a 5. I'm not really all too concerned, to be quite honest. Yes, it's concerning that you blow that lead, and it looks like at some points you had full control of the game. But, I really felt like Hartley still played very, very, very well. I thought that offensively, Field still puts up 7 points, 4 goals, 5 points.
He did good for.
That's a pro right there, Mike. That's a pro.
I can never catch my microphone. You're good at that.
Lansbury Smith, both of them still finished with 5. McConvey has 4. So obviously some bigger numbers that smaller numbers than we've seen.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, to me, this is more to a credit to Toronto, and maybe the fact that we have been sleeping on Toronto and that we haven't been giving Toronto the respect maybe that they deserve. The offense finally came to life in that second half. Yeah. Hiltz had his best game as a pro. Kirst was excellent. Dan Craig finally found the back of the net. He finished with 2. Sam English, what a game from him. 2 points, was all over the floor, an absolute menace playing both sides of the floor. Nick Rose goes down to injury. And before that, Rose was playing pretty solid. I think he had like 35 saves. Holochuk comes in cold, plays for about 20 minutes.
Played very well.
And he played very well too. And he played very, very well. So I will say this, Rochester, I wouldn't really be too worried about this loss. I think this was more of an exclamation mark on Toronto, reminding us that they're a team that can't be slept on, that they're a team that probably deserves more respect than the rest of the league has been giving them, and media and fans alike. So I'm going to say kudos to the Toronto Rock for that gritty second half comeback. Rochester, it's okay. I think there's still a team that at the end of the year, we're going to be talking about them hosting a playoff game. They got the week off, which I think is going to help. They've got some guys who are banged up on the back end. They've got a big challenge, though, coming with hosting Vancouver next week. So back-to-back, actually. I think they've got a home and home in Vancouver, if I'm not mistaken. So we can reconvene this topic in a couple of weeks after home and home with Vancouver. If they're 0-2 against those two teams, then we can start saying, okay, the writing was on the wall. If they split, okay. If they win back-to-back, I think we're talking about a team that's beaten Buffalo and Vancouver twice. I think we got to start, saying that this team is legit.
It's a home and home, it's a good home and home because it's not like the back-to-back, which it's like January 31st, February 7th, day before the Super Bowl, by the way.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Where the Bills are not. I'm kidding. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. The Colts fell off the rails. I can't even talk right now.
It's true.
All right. Josh Jubenville. I'll give a little nod there because I'll talk about him in a minute here. But he also played very well in this game too, just for the record. So how much weight out of 10? You said about 4 or 5. Do you put in a specific loss for Rochester? And on the Nick Rose point, before I say my answer here, I wonder if that was precautionary because he walked off. It was a play where Brad Creech pushes, I forgot which player, into him, and then he kind of rolls over in an awkward way with his legs. I think he'll be fine though. From what I could just rookie medical examiner here. But I don't know if that's the right word. Rookie nurse here or whatever. But yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It didn't look great, but I'm sure I'm sure we'll see him in between the pipes next game.
That's what I'm thinking too. All right, so I'm gonna do a little math here for my weights. 3 points for blowing a lead, like 3 pounds, which is like a big deal. Subtract 1 because the ref did screw them, I have to admit. But this is the second time they've also let us down. See the Colorado game for Rochester. So I'm going to add 2 more. My math equals about 4, which is where you landed. Okay. Not super concerning, but here's me right now. My eyebrows are raised. I'm paying attention. Rochester, you've gotten some really good wins. It's really like we were like high. Maybe we're getting too high on this team too early, probably, but I'm just a little bit like, are they really ready? And I'm concerned just a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's beyond fair. And to go into the officiating thing, there's no doubt that obviously there was 2 missed calls. And so I've heard the argument. And again, I tweeted it out. I 1000% thought there was 2 missed calls for blocking in the crease, especially that first one with Bill Hostrauser. He's in the crease, acting as a goaltender. I think there is a little bit of room maybe because the rule, the way it's written, there is a lot of gray area.
Yes.
So I think you can make that argument.
And Brendan McDaniels admitted on the broadcast the second one was a little bit, I get that one.
But I mean, Mazuka does literally block the shot, but is he quote unquote acting like a goalie?
Sure.
Again. So the first one though, Rochester goes on the power play because it's not under 30 seconds. It's not automatically that penalty shot. So do they score on the power play? I don't know. Probably, maybe not. So it doesn't guarantee.
Look at the stats while you talk just real quick, because I don't think they were great. I could be wrong with the power play in this game. Make sure real quick.
So while you're taking a look like that, so here's the thing. If they call that, then the second one that they missed, that would have been the penalty shot, in all likelihood would not have been a situation where that would have happened. So
Right.
for the arguments of being like, they would have had a power play and a penalty shot, like, well,
Yeah.
if the first one's called, the second one, then we don't see that happen. Do I agree with people that it was a blatant missed call and that there probably should be some sort of disciplinary for those officials? I 100% believe so. I think that, especially with it being a focus call, a new rule in a two pivotal moments of that game, it's completely unacceptable. And I have faith that Brian Lemon and his staff will. I don't think, like, we're not getting it for the people who want a statement from the league. You're not getting a statement from the league. Listen, the Brett Dobson thing is completely different. They put a goaltender in the penalty box,
And that's egregiously bad.
And that's not in the rule book. That is
Correct.
not in the rule book. It hasn't been in the rule book for almost a decade and a half. The league had to address that. That was basically doing something that is not in the rule book. This was just a blown call. This is just a situation where the officials had an opportunity to make a call. They didn't make the call. I don't think the league needs to come out and make a statement for that. With that being said, though, if you don't see that crew next week or the week after that, then you know that it was addressed internally. I'll just leave it at that.
Loose Mesh said just get rid of it. So, and again, like, Loose Mesh shares the opinion of, like, if Scott Loeffler, of course, is one of the ones who doesn't like it either. But, like, I'm okay with it. People are mad at the wording, and not to go down this rabbit hole. My take has been, I haven't really done a segment on this, but my take has been, I just feel like we make up things sometimes because we think the rule is worded wrong. The first one is egregiously that's what the rule book says. The second one, I think, is just like a compilation of it. Rochester was like, what was it, 1 for 4 on the power play? They might not have scored, for the record. Holchuk was playing very well at that moment. So I don't know if it wins them the game, but that first one, I don't like when we keep on like, oh, well, I don't like that. Like, oh, well. But I think I see people's point. I think it's a good rule in general. I think saying it was for safety is also bullcrap, for the record. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah, fair enough. I've been on the record saying that I think that addressing it was certainly needed. I do think that calling it the Buffalo Bandits rule, it's kind of funny because as of last week, I'm pretty sure they haven't been called on it. They've been able to adjust to it, no problem.
They've been smart with that too. Good for them.
You could still block shots, just don't be in the crease, and that's what they're doing right now. They've adjusted to it, and they've done quite well with it. But as I'm saying this, like, I have been on the record, I've said that a shot clock reset would be totally more than fair. I think that
more in the power play,
more than giving it a penalty, and then under a minute or in the last 30 seconds where the shot clock no longer is relevant, because then teams would have no problem doing, because if it's just going to reset, it doesn't matter after 30 seconds. Then maybe that's when you assess that minor penalty after it's 30 or maybe a minute. For me, though, hey, everyone, this rule's not going anywhere, at least for this year. It's staying. So when people say get rid of it, I understand. Maybe they address it in the offseason. Maybe they change it in the offseason. I still don't think it's just going to be gone after 1 year. In all likelihood, they will address something. They will maybe change the verbiage of it, make it more black and white. But it's something that we're going to have to live with. It's something that the refs are going to have to get better at. And it's something that the players are going to have to adjust to their game as well.
We'll toggle with the English as we come back to it. All right. Last game for Pat Gregoire. Stay tuned for Greggy's Grinder in just about 5 minutes here. So the Desert Dogs beat the Wings 10-7. It was the last game of the week. Did this Las Vegas win prove the Doggies can compete? Compete is open-ended.
Exactly. It is open-ended. And if compete means being competitive and playing in close games, then yes, they've absolutely already have proven that. There's no doubt they can, especially when they can get competent goaltending, which they did last game for Landon Kels. There's no doubt about it. I think this offense is one of the best offenses in the National Lacrosse League. I think their defense is vastly improved. Now, are we calling competitive meaning compete for a playoff spot, compete for a championship? If that's the case, then no, not yet. We need to see the bigger sample size of Landon Kells or Alexis Bouquet or Caleb Kahn or a goalie that they go out and trade for. I don't know. Until they can prove that 3-4 games in a row they get solid goaltending, I'm not putting this team as a quote unquote lock to make the playoffs or a team that can go on a deep run. I'm sorry. I'm just not seeing it. We know how playoff lacrosse is. You can outscore your problems in the regular season. When it comes to playoff lacrosse, you need to lock it down. The whistle gets tighter. There's less power plays. Teams are playing grittier. You got like the goals are going to dry up. And unfortunately, on the other side, the goals won't dry up on the other side for this team. I just don't see it happening unless they make a change or unless Landon Kells can stuff me in a locker for more than those 2 games at the start of the year after his first stinker. It has to happen. I don't know if it happens. We'll see. Prove me wrong again, but prove me wrong for more than 2 games. That's where I see this.
Against good teams too, and the Wings, unfortunately, are not a good team. They're not even competitive themselves.
Well, and here's the thing. I will say, I want to give them credit for this because, yes, I agree. I mean, the Wings were my team that came into this year. I said they would be ranked 14th. I thought they were going to be the worst team in the league. But I do think they're a team that actually has shown they can score. They put up 13 last week against Rochester. They put up 12 against Ottawa the week before that, 11 against Rochester the week before that. A little bit of a quieter game in their opener, scoring only 8, but still coming out with a win. So offensively, yes, they still are a good team. Brendan O'Neill is still one of the most exciting players in the league. Joe Rezateris is still proving that he's one of the best facilitators in the game. Eric Fennell has proven to be a nice story this year. But yes, you're right. We're not talking about Buffalo. We're not talking about Rochester. We're not talking about Saskatchewan. Heck, we're not even talking about that middle tier.
Or Ottawa, yeah, or Georgia. Yeah. It's bad.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think Philly does a great job filling the net sometimes, but I don't think we can be like, oh, they slowed down Philly's offense. This defense is legit. Like, let's pump the tires.
Pump the brakes. You're pumping the tires makes it better. So yeah. All right. So I want to first say this was a great audition for Nick Damoud potentially going back to the West Coast and going to Vegas because 48 saves and 2 loose balls. Sean Williams like, oh, not too bad, sir. Let me talk to you on the bus after the game if you don't mind. Anyways, so my give the Las Vegas win, prove the Dogs can be competitive. Same boat here. It confirms what I've thought. They're not as bad as they once were, which is the basement dweller. They still missed the playoffs, but they don't suck anymore. That's about where I'm at. I don't think we've seen sample size to prove anything other than that. Good for them being 11th or 12th instead of 14th. So that's where I'm at right now, which is better. Mm-hmm. I got some music to play for you, sir. The graphic speaks. There's a graphic, folks, but let's play some music real quick. Time for Greggy's Grinder and explain to the people what it is and then tell me your nominees.
All right. So Greggy's Grinders, it was a feature of mine in Isle Indoor and lacrosse class or lacrosse flash. Back in the day, would give out my favorite grinders or the top grinders. And you're wondering, what is a grinder? Well, a grinder is a guy that goes to work, doesn't need all the limelight, doesn't need to fill up the stat sheet. He's a guy that goes to work, puts his hard hat on, his work boots on, and just goes about it. A blue-collared grinder is exactly where this has come from. So this week, I've got 3. My first would be, I'm going to go to the Vancouver-San Diego game, and I'm going with Zach Currier.
I love that.
This dude did absolutely everything to help his team come out with a win. He went out the Odor, played some defense, was on the loose ball team, off the face-off. The guy was everywhere. I wish the NLL tracked minutes played because this guy, that game, it would have been astronomical. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, 9 loose balls, 2 caught turnovers, a block. He was effective absolutely everywhere, all over the floor. Now, you're probably wondering, how could you possibly not have this guy? Well, listen, I want to still, Zach Courier's a superstar. I would still want to give my shine to maybe some of those guys that, again, don't get the love. But a guy that's been getting a lot of love, and for good reason, as my other nominee, was Callum Jones. Outstanding, doing a great job defensively, holding that Buffalo offense, again, just stymieing them, not giving any time and space to some of their top players. He also chipped in with a goal, 8 loose balls, 3 caused turnovers. He is far and away the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. It's not even funny. But he's not my number one grinder this week because, again, I wanted to go with a player that doesn't get the shine, doesn't get the love that maybe he deserves. But Seth Van Scheppen of the Georgia Swarm, outstanding work. And it was from the get-go. This guy had jump, and I don't know if it was because he had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder going up against his former team in Calgary, but I thought he was outstanding. The first defensive shift he had out there, picks off a pass, knocks down a ball, grabs the loose ball, pushes in transition, lightning speed, and scores. He also had an assist later on in that game, had 8 loose balls and 2 block shots on top of that. Seth Van Scheppen is just the epitome of what this Georgia defense is all about. Rangy, physical, fast, athletic. He was outstanding at 6'5". He is such a tough check. There's so many of those big, tall, physical guys on that back end. They're so aggressive. They're so athletic. I love watching Georgia's defense play, and I felt like SVS was really the player that kind of led that charge that game. So I'm going to give it to Seth Van Scheppen.
It's funny you mentioned him because we did a watch party, a public watch party this time. It was much more fun with myself, Gamble Guy. Captain was in the arena actually getting, I don't know if you saw him on the watch party.
Oh, we saw him.
I love that. That was great. That was fun. But CLL Chris Fox commented during that game saying, like, oh, Seth Van like he spelled it so weirdly, like what CLL alumni. Like, can you at least spell his name right? So we actually got some love on our watch party. He didn't make my nominees, but I love that you said him. My goodness.
Yeah, he was outstanding. That entire defense. I have a feeling, Mike, that there's going to be a few Georgia Swarm getting their hard hat over the next few weeks throughout this season because they just have a full defense of grinders.
Which reminds me, you ever seen Peanuts?
Oh yes, I love it.
Sign from Mike's lunchbox. I think this one might have a thermos. I don't want to break it. Oh, it does. People always ask me, do they come with the thermos? This one does.
Oh, let's go.
Be like, yeah, Dad's got so many of these things. So what did Mom get me today? Well, got me a lot of buffalo sauce. We'll save that for my winner. So I got 3 nominees before I announced that, just for fun. Alex Simmons, offensive guy. But here's the thing. While he was playing offense, he was like the only one trying, it looked like, for Oshawa at times. There was just one play. Mattaccioni might be the fastest guy in the NLL.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the Oshawa Saskatchewan game. Alex Simmons, there was a play where he tracked him, where he literally went step for step with this guy, and he couldn't get a clean shot off.
Yeah.
How hard this guy wanted. John Fraser and Cody Jansen talked about it as well, so I love that. Didn't crack it, though, for me, but just a nominee. I had to give him credit. Christian Dobihenko, kind of like Brett Dobson last week. Like, what's a man got to do? What's a man got to do? Like, what are we doing here? Sandy, like Vancouver offense is ridiculous. We're going to get to that with Captain, by the way. Josh Jubenville, so close. 1 primary assist, 1 block, 11 loose balls, 6 of 19 at the dot because the Rock don't know what to do without TD Erlin. 1 caused turnover for him. But I'm so glad this wasn't your winner. It's Callum Jones for me.
Yeah.
And he went in there, stole the buffalo sauce, stole every buffalo wing that was there. already led the league with caused turnovers and had 3 more. Like, give me a break. This Gamble guy during the party was like, he looks like a kid. I'm like, because he was talking about how old Gamble guy was. But I'm like, no, he really looks like the nicest dude. But something about that floor turns him into the devil, man.
Oh yeah, he's an absolute
awesome.
He's an absolute menace. You're right. He is off the floor, super nice guy. But when it comes to the game of lacrosse, like there's no friends. He's out there to win. He wants to win so badly. And I think again, here, hold on.
Come on.
I'm patting myself on the back because this was my pick for defensive player of the year. Starting the year. Everyone's jumping on it now. I think everyone's saying it. And I'm fine with that because he deserves it. But I still don't think he's getting the flowers that he deserves for how good of a season he's having, because Jeff Teat is probably having an MVP season. Rob Hellier has been so great. Dan McRae is probably in the conversation for either GM or head coach of the year. And just quietly, just kind of the way that he has his persona, just quietly goes to work, puts in that work, but he is so disruptive on that back end. And I think you really recognize when he's in that lineup, because the last 2 seasons before that with this group, he's had stints where he's been out due to injury. When he's healthy, this defense looks so much different, He absolutely has to be the front runner for defensive player of the year. And I think more people have to be talking about how great of a season he's having.
He was rookie. Well, in his rookie year, I just remember star players just lay him down. Like, dude, you know the cojones you have to do that?
Oh yeah.
Good for him, man.
The human bowling ball, man.
He was a big reason why Ottawa won that game, so I had to give him credit. But a lot Seth and Shepard. Gosh, I'm mad I didn't grab that one. That was good.
I told you, Mike. I went with Clark Walter the week before, first week. Truly a grinder of all grinders.
Healthy stretch.
Week 2, went with CJ Kirst, a little more cachet, a little more pizzazz.
Both 2 goals on each side.
Yeah,
that was
it was just how hard he's working.
Yes.
I had to get back to my roots. I had to get to a guy that's a little bit further down the depth chart. And that's why I went with Van Scheppen. But next week, I'm hoping I don't have to go back to the well and give it to Callum Jones or him going to be, even though, the likelihood he's going to be on either one of our ballots here because that's just how darn good he's been. But I'm going to be in person watching that game, calling that game. And whenever I call an Ottawa game, my eyes are always drawn to number 11. I always find myself watching a lot of his games. So,
my defensive player of the year, he was number 1 over Mike Messenger, Nick Chikowski, and Crane Hossick last year. So.
Yeah, that's a great.
We look good. We look good.
It looks real good.
Thank you, Pat, for all you do. We will have the graphics ready for after the show. Greggy's Grinder is Seth and Shepard. And we got still 4 more overreaction questions to get to. This time with Captain. You stay safe. Enjoy your week. We'll possibly see you Friday, hopefully. And enjoy Ottawa if we don't.
Go to the store. Go to the merch store.
That's right.
And, of course, we'll see you guys in the comments section in about 5 minutes.
Love it. Thank you, Pat. Wow. So that was, again, it's sad because me and Pally are trying to make that segment a little bit shorter. We always just the Greggy's Grinder segment, that was fun. We appreciate Pat for that. Him and Teddy did a great job in Edmonton as well. Another guy was in Edmonton, not in the broadcast booth, but pretty darn close to it, I'd say, was Captain. We'll bring him on next. Stay tuned afterwards for 3 stars as well. Really good performances, but more reactions next. You're watching Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
Welcome back to Daily Dive. I'm your host, Michael Karvelis, here once again. It is Monday, June 19th, 2026. I want to remind you, NLL merch is available at natalkradio.com/US. That's what the heck? Can I read? natalkradio.us/NLL. That's a nice Roughnecks shirt, wouldn't you say? And that's a nice Roughnecks jersey, wouldn't you say? And OG, how are you, Mr. Captain, sir?
Well, buddy, better than my bets.
Have you seen the video I made of I remember like last week I made the polar bear robbery joke, and then like, boy, that was just brutal. I think like I go 0-5 or 0-6. It was that was bad. Ever since I tweeted out that I went 6-0, it's been downhill from there.
Yeah, bad flex.
Speaking of jerseys, did you see Teddy wearing his white Edmonton? I was like, I'm glad TSN and NLL said, yeah, that's fine for a couple. That was great.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
It was, especially when you played and then you get the broadcast. What a full circle moment for the Teddy man. We're gonna get to that game. By the way, we have 4 games with the captain here. Let's do one that might have been off people's memory by now. The first one that started 6:30 Eastern on Friday. Mammoth defeated Thunderbirds 11-6. And captain, tough question right away here. Are the Thunderbirds Thunder frauds?
Yeah, dude. Like Hill's been. Oh yeah, polar bears had me upside down, emptied all my pockets this week. But Halifax, like, you know, with the offense they have, well, they should have on paper anyways. Like, they're only putting up 9 goals a game, and that's, yes, I know, you know, they had back-to-backs against Chiliano and Saskatchewan, but
yeah,
like that's pretty alarming. I'm going to be honest. Like, I've got Halifax and Vancouver in a neck and neck race for, you know, being top of the fraud watch right now, because these are 2 offenses that are pretty quiet. Yeah, we're firing early, pal. Like,
love it.
I got nothing to lose because I lost it all on the weekend. So let's go. But yeah, you know, like you got Theed and Tarafanko, only 1 assist each in this game.
Not good. On
the other end, Ward looking like old school Ward back in, you know, 2021, 2022 there. And I'm sure the boys running him early didn't help in Halifax's favor, because that probably just put a spark under Ward's butt to shut the door the rest of the game.
He is nuts. He had like 49 saves, had a Del Bianco assist. I call those like when it's primary on goalies, I call him a Del Bianco assist. He was nuts. 11-6. I know like a lot of people have liked Halifax. No, a lot of people have talked about the Halifax offense. This was a game where it's kind of like, okay, you know, it's like, what are we, Halifax? Like, you had the one breakout game from what's his name, in the debut of Will McLeod last week, that you turn back around against Oshawa, get blasted in the game. You won 11-2. So that was rough. My answer, yes, they are top of the fraud watch, we'll say. Warren Hill, we expected him to be worse, and he has saved them some games. He also is starting to be a little bit more of a leaky faucet, like kind of like peeking back through the blinds. I'm still here, this guy that you used to know. And they can't control their temper. That Bandits win, captain, seems like last year at this point. I mean, technically it was last year. It seems like last year.
Yeah, really. This game though, like they didn't get into too much. Like their discipline wasn't their Achilles heel in this game.
Right.
It was just the lack of offense showing up. They had 6 power plays, went 3 for 6. So, um, I feel like they improved a little bit on the discipline side, other than the little tussle with Ward in that game. But
Right.
like I say, like, are they missing Bomberry that much, or is it just, Thied and Tarafanko, no goals in that game? Like, I think that's the more concerning part, is the offense not showing up in this one.
I'm curious as to if they were not as physical because they finally had a fire lit under them after how bad it got last week. Like we've heard like Pat has talked about how maybe the coach is going to start taking playing time. Maybe he really did light them a fire, and maybe it lit them way too much. They just got, I don't know if it was soft. Pat talking about yanking Warren Hill. So I looked at that because, full disclosure, the first quarter of this game and the first half, I didn't really catch a lot of. But I noticed that Hutchinson came in. I was like, well, why? This game was apparently tied at eggs at the end of one. And then within like the first 6 minutes, Colorado started opening up. But I kind of agree with Pat. Was yanking Hill the best, considering Hutchinson was not good the rest? Like, why not put Warren Hill back in? It was very weird.
Yeah, the musical chairs thing never ends too positively for the goalies in the long run, in my opinion. But and
Justin Getty was activated, but was a healthy scratch. Like, that's also odd to me.
Yeah, it was Hogarth, not Bomberry, that I was saying they were missing. But
right. It's true. Halifax looked out of sync according to CLL. One thing that sticks out a week or two ago: swing. What's wow. Cody James in the face. To be fair, like Cody was the reason why they actually came back in this game a little bit. Had like 3 goals in a row, and like it was 8-6 at one point, and after that, they couldn't find it again. And you making chalk it up to Dylan Ward, but like you said, the offense, it's concerning. And
yes, sir.
I said last week to Pat that it felt like you got bigger, they're good offensive players, but when they need to get back, man, they're kind of chugging to that sideline because that's just what kind of body type they are. Just ask me, I know. So there you go. That's like me chugging to my bank account after a 6-0 start last week. Jeez. All right, next up, Captain, we're gonna do let's do Seals Warriors first. Seals did win that game 11-9. Point blank period. Are we concerned with Vancouver's chances to win it all? Because that was their preseason hype.
Yeah, so like this offense is just not non-existent 5-on-5.
Ridiculous, dude.
But Dixon only had 1 goal that game. So
he might have had another one late, but we can't blame the refs.
Yeah, so we'll touch on that later. But yeah, Vancouver, the only thing in my mind is if they can hang in there for a playoff spot, they could be the type of team that gradually gains steam as we approach the playoffs. Like, we know they got Dubs back there. So what clicks? What has to change to get this offense to, start putting up the 12 to 14 goals that they should be? I don't think this is a roster designed to be like that Toronto Rock the last few years, where they're reliant on, Rosie and a 10-8 win sort of thing.
Yeah, so, you're right. Exactly.
It's
like Del Biego's supposed to complement the offense.
Yeah, like
compliment him in a way,
Yeah, so I understand they're switching face-off guys. Like the Seals were 19-24 in that one, but that game should have not been that close offense to offense on paper. Rig came back, stood his ground, did what he had to do for his team, but no, this is why I'm saying Vancouver is more on a fraud watch than I am, and my wallet can tell you about this.
Yeah, it's like they're like, did someone steal this guy's identity? This isn't him. So it's interesting. Origlieri, this being the first game he's actually great this year, is so concerning. It's like crazy. I'm gonna go with I'm terrified, Captain. Clearly, and people can take this the wrong way, because I don't mean personality wise. On the floor, their offensive egos are butting heads. Like this season, You have Curtis Dixon, Jesse King, Keegan Ball, and a bunch of like Marcus Claridge, a young star, Peyton Cormier, who seems a little bit in better shape, looking better. You've got so many guys, and they're not scoring. Like, this is like Oshawa with even more stars than that.
Well,
And like, and we're not giving them the same credit the same discredit we gave Oshawa when they were so bad. Vancouver's in the same boat, and they still have not figured it out. That's alarming. To me, it's unacceptable. Like,
very true. And now I'm starting to go back to the first game they lost against Colorado and think, like that wasn't Vancouver's doing. That might have been more of Colorado looking a little better. But like Berg didn't even get a goal last game, and they couldn't beat the Seals. Like, so when they go back down, I don't think they've had their back-to-back yet. They have one more game against the Seals back in the dark house there. So that's going to be a big game. If Vancouver can't pull that one off when the Seals are as bad as they are at home, then yeah, look out.
I'll put it this way, and you'll see my power rankings on Wednesday. There were a couple of teams this weekend that I said I'm relying on my narrative segment for Thursdays. I have told people, Buffalo, you looked awful against Rochester. What was your answer? Awful again. Vancouver, you were in your home barn with what was the second best crowd, I believe, ever with them since they've been back to Vancouver, according to Adam Levy. I believe that was the number. And San Diego punches you straight in the face, and you have no counterpunch. That's concerning because we expected you to bounce back against teams that weren't really that great yet. And you made them look O'Leary's back all of a sudden because of you. It's not good. And can I trust him in the playoffs? No. Not at this point, no. Patty says Vancouver's 5 versus 5. Yeah, like you said, concerning special teams transition. Forget special team transition because they were 1 of 4 in the power play in this game. How about the fact that Del Bianco's just what else can you want me to do back here?
Exactly.
Like this guy in this game, 46 saves. If you tell me going to that game he's going to allow 46 saves with 10 goals, Vancouver wins that game, or the offense doesn't show up. It's awful.
Yes.
Let's get to Edmonton, or let's go back because you were already there in Edmonton. So the Roughnecks got blasted and got stung in the butt cheek by the Georgia Swarm, 19-9. But we ain't talking about the game because honestly, who cares about these teams? No offense. Captain, how many people were actually at the game? Because it was reported 6,900.
Yeah, the best way I can look at that, like we know they gave, they had promotions to give away tickets. We know that from some of the fan interviews. But there was a top section, like the gondola section and private box section. So you could probably say the lower bowl was, supposed to hold 9,000, and they might have had 6,000 in the lower bowl. But what probably wasn't seen on TV was that like gondola section that, probably had the other 1,000 that they're accounting for, sort of thing, which, it's not terrible seeing as no advertising. Like the league dropped the ball in many aspects on this game. Like, I'm showing up there thinking I'm going to buy myself an updated jersey, look at some Swarm gear,
that was brutal.
So there was a lot of things like that. Many of the interviews we had with people, like there was no, the only way they heard of the game was within their communities or social media. So not much for radio, not much for TV, but that they could have done better for sure.
Dawson Nielsen did a great job promoting this thing by himself, and it looks like he was the only person in the entire world who did so.
Sadly.
I found a pinned tweet. I didn't find it. I looked at the pinned tweets for the NLL and the PLL. Captain, the PLL has 120,000 followers on Twitter. When I checked this, their schedule release had like 90,000 views on their pinned tweet. This is a schedule release from 3 days ago, Captain. The NLL posted a graphic about the Edmonton game in October, Captain, and they had like 70,000 followers. It had like 60,000 views. You cannot convince me the NLL did not just a little bit, did any promotion whatsoever. It was so awful. It was god awful. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So I am not just frustrated. I'm incensed at how awful they promoted this game. Because I could argue the Edmonton game with an unboxed thing with a potential new owner with OEG, with Oilers Entertainment Group, is as significant as the PLL schedule is. Hey guys, our travel tour is going to these 2 extra cities this year. It's unacceptable. And the PLL, once again, wins social media. I do think social media helps a lot in promotions. And if Dawson Nielsen's the only person doing it, what is going on, man?
Yeah, no, it's frustrating.
Not right.
Very frustrating. And I in my mind, like I'm looking as a fan side of things, thinking, if you had the time and the money as a Roughneck fan, like why wouldn't you make the trip up? So I'm thinking if they average 9,000 fans, like, there should have been at least like 3,500 Calgary fans up there. And then, the excitement of a team being back. And the other good part with that Edmonton scenery is the arena's downtown, and there's a lot of festivities going on around it. So if you have a team back there, you're going to get probably 500 to 1,000 fans every week of just the curiosity and the people, that's their first stop before they go out type thing. Now, $20 beers needs to change.
Yeah, we thought cheap beers is actually a selling point,
But yeah,
it is sad.
Yeah,
right.
like I say, like our boots on the ground discovered many holes by interviewing those fans as to where the NLL dropped the ball. So we'll put all that together and showcase it in the next couple of days. But very sad.
OEG is also, there's speculation that maybe they just kind of just want to see it grow organically, which is also absolutely insane. I think, what was it, your buddy who said he went to an Edmonton game, Oilers game the night before, and had no clue it was happening? Like, what? How? Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a true story.
I'm not going to guess how many. I'm going to say 5,000 fans. I think that's fair, 5,000-ish. My answer to that, though, is I think I'm going to raise a challenge, because it's not going to happen now. But I'm going to tell you this. If Savannah, Georgia, and people may not like when I say this, if you put this game in Edmonton, at the End Market Arena, they would outsell what Edmonton did. It's not a threat, by the way. It's a promise. It's a promise. I believe, because I would do my work doing it. Other people around, people always know what's happening at that arena, no matter if it's an old rock band, the Hot Wheels garbage thing I went to for kids. They had a lot of fans there. It was come on, man. It's unacceptable on both sides, NLL and OEG. Just shame that all the fans were kind of oh my gosh, they were proud of it, and it showed in the interviews we showcased on the watch party. We'll show later, but they were proud of that, of going back there, and they still left a little bit disappointed. It's a shame.
Oh yeah, not having merch was a big one. If you go on any team's social medias, the amount of people on there that were come on, we would have spent a lot of money. There would have been a lot of money spent.
And I know you've said you want to touch it before you buy it. NATalkRadio.us/NLL, for the record, that the league is soft launching a merch thing. Thankfully, Hutton Jackson found it for us, so we had to take hold of that little link there. At least one person's already bought merch. 200 people have clicked on it. Check it out. Why not? Because Bananas is taken, obviously. All right, my bad. Final game for the people. Rush defeat the Firewolves 15-10. Captain, are the Rush the best team by far?
I mean, nine people scoring. They're starting to run deep. Things are looking good there. I right now for sure they're top tier.
Yeah, So my answer to this is it's not even close. And you're gonna like this thing that I wrote down. Second place and back might as well break off and start a B league. Like I feel like the Rush, like they're physical, but they're clean. Like they toe that line of 50%. Was that dirty or not? The goalie once again playing great, Chiliano. Defense and transition, self-explanatory with Boudreaux, McClellan, Accioni, Mike Messenger for crying out loud. Oh, and now their offense looks good. Like what? Like we always knew they had some guys on offense. If the offense can be the cherry on top, like I wrote down, give them the NLL Cup now. Like
I don't know if I heard you touch, but even transition, like they've got
like,
everything's clicking.
It's a perfect team. The coach is like one of the best. Jake Naso can go toe-to-toe with Jake Withers. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I felt this way about Buffalo the last couple of years. I'm up there with Saskatchewan. Like, well, what's the point of finishing? Honest to God, barring health, what is the point of finishing the season? There he is back! I love this guy.
Hey, dude, and I've told you too. I've been on many of the Rock socials too, and I've seen a lot of
they're outspoken, man.
Get rid of Rosie and get rid of Sawyer. I have never seen so many comments, especially after what Halachuk did this week, coming in to save the day. It's
Halachuk did look very good, though. By the way, again,
the fans got their pitchforks out for sure.
Woo! Like Shrek, hey, you green, you ogre, you. That's not a shot at Nick Rose, by the way. I will say about that. Jake McDonald, if anything lacks, who's joined a couple of watch parties so far, he said he wants more hardcore, passionate fans. He told me what he's going to do. I'm going to leave it. I won't give away secrets, but he wants there to be more people, like let's say Philadelphia fans. I'll say as my teaser on that, but he's awesome, man. Like we don't just like go to the games. We're like, Halsey, screw you. Although Philadelphia fans were like telling Hartley last week, this is our house.
I love it. I love those.
Awesome.
Yeah, like Bandeland's pretty rough too on the opposing goalies.
I love it. The Bands fans like they like this guy sucks. I think that's what they say sometimes.
Yeah, it's all your fault. This guy's like it's the 3 points and
don't blame the defense. Blame yourself, loser. It's awesome. Captain, the Roughnecks jersey looks great. Seal had a comment in here. He said that jersey is peak Roughnecks aesthetic. So there you go.
Could have had myself a second one in the closet, but we know how that went down this weekend.
Yeah, well, what you could do is get yourself one of those shirts. These aren't too bad.
Want another jersey.
That is true. I do wonder if they're going to like announce it once they have jerseys, like officially, we have merchandise. But until then, we have merchandise. How's that? All right. Thank you, Captain. Stay safe. Try to bounce back this week. I don't know how you're going to write up that plan tweet for the week, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Talk to you on Thursday.
Captain's going on hibernation. I love it. All right, folks, when we come back, 3 stars of the weekend, and this time I made the graphics, so that'll be fun. I need some water again because I can't stop coughing. We'll be right back, folks. You're watching Dilly Dive.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to Daily Dive. I'm your host, Michael Karvelis. It is Monday, January 19, 2026. We've been on the show for an hour today. Full disclosure, after week 9, I believe, because this week we're doing Coach of the Year tomorrow, along with Fresh Fits and more segments. But next week we revisit MVP. I want to ask you guys, who is your MVP? When I did this after week 5, I had Dane Smith 1, Warren Hill, Brett Dobson, Jeff Teat 4, Rylan Hartley 5. I think that's changed a little bit, I might say. But I asked that because of the performances this weekend once again. Third place, hey, welcome to the NLL again, Lyle Thompson. 4 goals, 4 primary assists, and 6 loose balls. That dude set the tone early in Edmonton in the first game that I actually decided to take an under 5.5 points. He did 8 true points, and I think had 12 points or 10 points total. It was all awesome what he did. He had 3 goals all season coming into that game. Great stuff for Lyle. And not just because he had a bounce back game. This was one of the best performances of the weekend. He gets my 3rd star. Second star, guys, Dylan Ward. 49 saves, just allowed 6 goals, equals 89 save percentage. 1 Del Bianco assist and 1 loose ball. Dylan Ward has been awesome, not just this year. Even last year, Dylan Ward was electric. So he deserves all the credit. This guy's been on one. And guys, I brought up MVP. Jeff Teat did it again. 5 goals, 1 primary assist. I believe 3 of those goals were in the 4th quarter. 9 loose balls. The best part about Jeff Teat this year, he's been getting back on defense more than ever before. 1 block, 1 more cost turnover in this game. The guy is a weapon on both sides of the floor. Dan McRae has this guy playing even better than he was. And last year, remember, it was kind of a down year despite 56 goals. Jeff Teat might have his career year this year, and the Black Bears have looked really good because of it. They're now 4-3 in the standings. They are currently 6th with that 4-3 record, so good for them. Jeff Teat, I believe that's his 3rd time I've given him my 1st star. I'm going to assume that next week when we do MVP, Jeff Teat's going to be up there again. But again, there are games this weekend with Ottawa hosting Vancouver, so we'll see how that looks. But yeah, I don't think it'll be Dane Smith next week. But again, stay tuned tomorrow for my Coach of the Year race right now. 4 guys, and there's some good ones, man. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. Thank you again to Pat Gregoire taking time out of his day to help us with not only 3 overreactions, but also Greggy's Grinder. And so I added my stepdad's lunchbox, which is great. There's so much more where that came from. There's over 100 of these things. So we'll save the best for the end of the season. But yeah, there was a thermos today as well, which is great for those that love those things. Also, shout out to my dad who allows me to use this, even though he really doesn't know because he's at work right now. I don't know. Anyways, thank you to Captain who came on the show after a long weekend that he had. And again, shout out Dawson Nielsen of Loose Mesh. I know he did a great job promoting that thing. I wish other parties would have helped out as well. Captain was up there. Avery was up there. I believe it was Avery Sports Talk is his podcast. Teddy and Pat and Chantel Chan had a great call. McCabe came on the show to talk about overreactions. So that was great. And of course, we had 3 stars. And again, tomorrow, like I said, Fresh Fits and Coach of the Year and another segment. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. It's been great. Comments were awesome once again. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'm your host, Michael Karvelis. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. This has been Daily Dive. Bye.